Dear Tony, he has surpassed all expectations, but I fear he may fall into the wrong hands. So I'm sending him somewhere safe. Somewhere perhaps he can learn to be a true boy. A true robot boy.
Right, because the #1 safest place to store your super powerful and artificially intelligent combat robot is always the home of your #1 kid fanboy. Holy sh! Well, since my next character dive is going to be a My Little Pony character, and since I have no idea how many of my subscribers have hate of ponies, figured I'd take a suggested character dive idea and do Robot Boy alongside it, so big thanks to the person that suggested this one. So, without further ado, here's today's episode of Character Dive.
Recharge your batteries.
Batteries full. No deactive.
See, y'all be acting like I'm pulling these hentai jokes out of thin air, when actuality, these hentai shoulder jokes come straight out of Robot Boy's ass. Robot Boy is a super-powered combat robot that was built to protect the world, but in order to keep from becoming a cold and uncontrollable killing machine like his prototype brother, who, due to a lack of humanity, can now only be described as a metallic monster, his creator, Professor Moshimo, created Robot Boy with a sort of emotion chip that gave him the AI of a boy. Shortly after his completion, he was then given to Tommy. Living with Tommy will in time help Robot Boy learn true humanity. That's the kind of knowledge that can't be programmed.
G-Man, he puts you to the test.
Gus, wait!
Why Gus go? That funny.
I know, but we shouldn't laugh at him.
Why?
It's called pity. I'm gonna go talk to him.
Pity.
Robot Boy's AI is interesting for that very reason. It quickly learns and adapts as Robot Boy experiences different emotions. For example, Robot Boy was unfamiliar with the concept of sadness and the act of crying. Tommy gave him a short and simple explanation, and later on in that same day, he experienced both sadness and crying. This happens many times throughout the series. It seems to me that it only takes a few hours for Robot Boy to learn a new emotion, which is pretty freaking fast, all things considered. Now, the hard thing about analyzing Robot Boy's personality is that because he's the most soft-spoken character in the show, you only get tiny snippets of his personality at a time. In some episodes, he doesn't even say a single word. Still, there's at least 2 traits that stick out the most. Robot Boy is naive. Very naive. Sound familiar? Robot Boy has on multiple occasions been tricked and manipulated into doing all sorts of actions by many different people, including his best buddy Tommy. His other obvious trait is that he's very protective of his friends. Robot Boy will instantly act upon any force that seeks to do his friends harm without a second thought, which has led him to pulling massive guns on a lot of people. This cute little robot is a fan of excessive force, to say the least.
It's nothing, it's just something with Bambi.
Bambi bad. Robot Boy, smash Bambi.
The other thing that I can point out about Robot Boy is his reaction time is amazing. Not shocking since he's a robot, but his ability to quickly assess any situation and act immediately upon it is amazing, especially for a robot with the AI of a child. Moving on to his powers, Robot Boy is built for battle, but he's also meant to be similar to a human boy, so he has multiple states to go with this. Firstly, there's his deactivated state. In this form, he's at both his weakest and smallest. Small enough to fit inside Tommy's backpack. He's usually in this mode to either save power or to recharge, although Tommy has often sent Robot Boy into this state to stop him from doing something or to silence him. Tommy manually sends him into this state with the press of a button on a wristwatch. Robot Boy will also go into this state if he runs out of power. He's completely helpless in this form though, and I'm not certain if he's capable of breaking out of this mode on his own. His second state is active mode. This is the cute state where Robot Boy is darn near chibified. As cute as this mode is, he actually has access to a majority of his powers while in it. Robot Boy's powers include flight, super strength, durability, speed, light vision, freeze ray, super breath, supersonic sound powers, as well as a sort of hand barrier power that he used to block and then reflect a fire blast back at the sender, as well as a few other powers. For all intents and purposes, Robotboy is pretty capable in this state despite being so small. Still, he always ends up having to pull out his trump card in the form of yet another mode. The last mode is called Super Activated Mode. In this state, Robotboy is at his biggest and he has access to his artillery weapons, such as really big Gatling guns and lasers, as well as the powers that he has in his previous mode. He can't talk though, at least not while he's in this mode, for some reason. Now, I'm most likely missing some crucial abilities and weapons that he can use in this state, but that's due to the show's problem of not focusing on Robotboy enough. But at the very least, we can say that he's at his strongest in this form, since this is how he wins almost all of his fights. I would turn to the wiki, but since this show wasn't super popular back then, fans didn't really add much to it, but whatever. In an unrelated note, this show has over 100 minisodes that Cartoon Network happily showed at the crack of dawn on a Sunday when most normal children were fast asleep because it was the freaking weekend! Also, Gus sucked donkey d***. As for weaknesses, he's got about 3 main ones that stick out to me. Being manipulated by people and enemies because of his emotions, like the time Robotboy pitied this junky robot here, who eventually brought him right into the hands of Dr. Kamikaze, or the time the evil doctor used Robotboy's temper against him.
Hello, ugly! You're so ugly when you entered an ugly contest, they said, sorry, no professionals, thank you very much.
His other weaknesses is running out of oil. If Robotboy runs out of oil, his system will lock up and he will be forced to shut down. Like the time he literally cried oil as tears until he locked up and went into deactivated mode. Weird, but it happened. Now his last and most baffling weakness? Batteries. This super advanced and powerful Guardian robot runs on batteries that can easily be popped out like a children's toy. It's crazy how that happens. I get that he needs a power source, but it's gotta be a little more secure than that. Honestly, that's about it. As much as I'd like to come to a deep conclusion about him, the show didn't really give me much to work with. The best I can come up with is that Robotboy shows us that humanity is a powerful thing. The fact that without it, you can have a destructive and uncontrollable monster, and with it, you can have a robot that in many ways is more likable than the humans around him. Robotboy could have easily turned out like Protoboy, but he didn't because he has a soul. An artificial soul, but a soul nonetheless. Robotboy is a cute and pleasant character that makes a lot of mistakes as he goes through life learning how to be a human from the people around him. Thanks for watching this super wordy and grossly overthought video. Feel free to add your own thoughts about Robotboy in the comments. I hope you liked the video, because I had fun making it. Feel free to subscribe, because I will be doing more of these videos in the future. I don't know if I'll ever review Robotboy. Rewatching the episodes for this video, show doesn't really hold up for me personally, but I don't know. Anyway, check out my video on XJ9 if you want more robot-themed character analysis videos. But until then, I'm your inappropriate host, Cap of the Navoid, and this has been Character Dive. Thank you.